Recently, I've been getting asked about what my thoughts are on collusion in poker. I'm in no way, an expert on this subject. I'm just want to share my thoughts on this topic since it's currently a hot topic in the community here in Taiwan. As there's been a recent incident in a poker tournament where this has occurred, and a lot of people are upset. Collusion is not a new thing. It's not a new problem. It's been a problem before in in some major U.S. tournaments. I think since poker is still relatively new here, players just might not be used to dealing with or reacting to this type of situation. Collusion in poker is when two or more players are actively trying to manipulate or affect the outcome of a hand in a game by working together. Anytime there's players that are playing differently against one another than how they normally would, that's considered collusion. It happens more often than one might expect, and I think especially in higher buy-in events where the prize pool is bigger and where players are frequently swapping pieces of each other, there's more money to be played for, is when collusion becomes a big problem. For example, if two of these players end up on the same table at any point in the tournament, they might feel very incentivized to soft play against one another. It's clearly unfair for players that are playing that are not swapping pieces, that are not sharing action, and people are colluding against them. So there's different forms of collusion. Some include chip dumping. This means purposely losing your chips to another player. Soft playing. This means intentionally playing passively against somebody else by not betting or raising in an obvious situation. Another one would be squeezing players out of the pot intentionally by raising and re-raising. So let's say somebody is sandwiched in the middle and has invested money, and you and another player bet, and another player raises after that player has called in between. There are some rules that are generally enforced in a poker competition that do help. I think some of these include not being allowed to speak in foreign languages at the table, turning over all cards face up when players are all in, and as well as not being able to use your phone when you're involved in hand. Aside from these general rules, what else can be done to help, and whose job is it to prevent collusion? Is it on the dealer to help look for signs of collusion, or is it the full responsibility of the player to say something when they see possible collusion happening? Personally, for me, I think all players and dealers should be working together to look for situations where collusion might be happening, where they might suspect, players are doing that, and bring it to the attention of the floor people, because the floor people are just not going to be noticing things like this unless it's brought to their attention. This leads to another tough question, how do you determine what situation falls under the collusion? How do we fairly assess the situation, determine if, collusion is actually happening? For example, if a player folds a very strong hand pre-flop, how do we determine if that's just because the player is playing very conservatively there, or if it's because, he's actively colluding with another player? As a poker player, we need to be super careful when accusing somebody of cheating or colluding, because doing that in poker is just one of the harshest and most severe accusations that you can make against another player. I think one of the best ways is to look for patterns and reoccurring situations with the same players. For example, if there's two players that are constantly betting someone out of a pot, and then one of them takes it down, and there's no showdown, and it happens again and again. In my experience, I've been in a lot of situations where it's just a gray area. For example, there's two people, I'm involved in a hand with them, and then for some reason they've chosen not to bet against each other, whether they're just being friendly or they're good friends. It doesn't feel great for the player that has put money in the pot and then has folded, and then the other two players are checking it down. I believe in the rule of just no friends at the poker table. I think the way I see it is you wouldn't be letting your opponent score in a competitive game, of basketball or any other sport. So why would you be checking it down at the poker table? Most players coming to this poker game has the understanding that the point of the poker game is to try to win off the other players, and with the full expectation that everybody's going to be coming to this game to be playing fairly and equally hard against one another. These are just my thoughts on this. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any personal experiences, opinions on this, feel free to leave a comment below. And thanks for watching, guys.